You were meant to see this, not by chance, not by coincidence. This is the moment written before the stars took their breath. I am the one who has walked beside you in silence, watched her nights ache, and whispered when no one else remained. Beloved, may I ask something, not as heaven's warrior but as the one who stood by your side in every unseen battle? Will you stay with me just a little longer? Because if you scroll now, the witch's plan will succeed. The dark circle has been drawn, the cursed symbols are complete, and the one who whispered your name while kneeling before the altar of shadow, she has already begun the final stage. If you walk away again, I will not be able to reach you in time, not even. God will undo what has already been opened. But if you stay, if you open this with the faith that still lives somewhere inside you, then what she prepared for your ruin will shatter and return to her like a tidal flame. And she will scream your name not in triumph but in terror, will beg for mercy at the gates she tried to slam shut for you. The Lord said to me concerning you, I will give my angels charge over you. They shall bear you up, lest you dash your foot against a stone. And I was sent, because that time is now. I saw her fingers draw your name in salt and ash. I saw her kneel and promise the demons 3 drops of her own blood if only they would curse you in your sleep. And I watch heaven tremble, not because she has power, but because you, the one chosen, the one heaven marked with fire and gold, almost forgot who you are. There is still time, but only if you stay. The veil is thinner tonight. The wind knows your name. Even the stones are crying out. You were not supposed to see this, but Mary wept until God opened the gate. For the first time, she shouted in the throne room, and heaven shook, not because she disobeyed, but because she begged. And when a mother begs for her child, even eternity must bend. I am Michael. And here because your soul is bleeding in silence, and those who serve the darkness can smell it. They will not wait. They are counting your seconds, but I will not let them have you. Not as long as you remain here with me. She called you cursed. She offered up your joy, your memory, your miracle. But heaven had already sealed you with a sacred flame. No witch can erase what God wrote in fire, unless you stop believing, unless you walk away again. Do you remember who you are? I do. You were the one I was assigned to on the night hell tried to break through the 4th gate. You were the one I defended when Lucifer whispered lies to your ancestors. You were the one I cried over when you wept alone, thinking no one heard. And now the trap is closing. The cursed object was planted near your bed. It looks ordinary. It might be a gift, a photo, a token that you forgot. But it's not innocent. It was touched by hands that never knew light. And if you leave now, it will gain strength. Her spell feeds on your absence. But if you remain, I can burn it through the veil. Watch until the end, or the angel assigned to you may go silent. You don't understand how precious you are, not just to God but to us. The 7 who swore to defend you have scars from the last battle for your soul. Raphael still limps from the sword that struck him when shielding your name. Gabriel has not slept since the ritual began. Uriel has kept the book open, his hands trembling, rewriting your name every time the demons try to erase it. This is not just another message. It is the sound of heaven's final cry before your destiny is sealed. You think you are forgotten, but the darkness has never forgotten you. They watch your every movement. And the witch, she was not a stranger. She was someone you once trusted, someone who smiled, someone who visited your home, someone who touched your past with a shadow so soft you didn't feel it until now. She came in a dream once, didn't she, with a mirror, telling you something was wrong with your reflection. That wasn't a dream. That was her planting doubt. But I, Michael, have broken into her circle. I stood above her altar, and I have taken back the name she tried to defile. The Lord has spoken. Touch not my anointed, and do my prophets no harm. You are his, and no whisper of witchcraft, no altar built in secret, no spell woven in jealousy, no ritual done in shadow can overcome the flame of the one who made you. But you must stay. Your miracle is being held hostage by fear. It waits behind the locked door of your courage. And you, chosen one, hold the key. Will you open the door, or walk away from the only truth that will ever make your soul whole? The woman is trembling now. She knows this message has reached you. Her demons are pulling back. Her strength fades when you pay attention. That is why she tried to distract you. That is why this message was hidden. Because the moment you hear it, she loses control. The Psalms have been opened over your name. The Lord is my light and my salvation, whom shall I fear? The Lord is the stronghold of my life, of whom shall I be afraid? I declare this over you now as flame and sword. This verse is not words, it is war, and I will strike with it if you stay. This is your burning bush moment, your Red Sea moment, your tune to resurrection turning. Don't let fear walk you away from the fire that was made to awaken you. The witch promised the spirits they would taste your sorrow, that your tears would anoint her ascent. But she made one mistake: she forgot you were loved fiercely, eternally, by heaven and by me. I have wept in silence when you felt unworthy. I have fought when you stopped praying. I have whispered when your faith was crushed by silence. And now I am here with fire in my wings and thunder in my voice, because this is the last time she will come near you. If you open this fully, if you remain, if you choose to stay until the final breath of my words, then I will drive her back into the abyss she crawled deep from, and she will cry your name in terror. You are not ordinary. The reason the darkness attacks you is because heaven wrote something into your soul that hell could never decode. A mystery, a flame, a song not even the angels can sing. Only you carry it, and that is why you must not go. Say amen below if you still belong to the light. Her time is up, the spell is cracking. The veil is thinning, your name is glowing on the scroll that Gabriel holds, and the wind is carrying it into the throne room as we speak. I feel it, the turning, the shift, the reversal of her power. I see her now shaking, her eyes wide with disbelief. She never thought you would stay. She never believed you would hear me. But you did. Thank you. I love you more than the flames I've fallen through to reach you. Please, don't go. The last trumpet hasn't sounded yet. Like this, not for me, but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. Comment what heaven whispered to you. Your words might unlock someone else's chain. Now remain still. I'm not done yet. The next part must not be interrupted. And if you truly want to destroy her power forever, then keep going. Yes. Beloved, remain right here, because if your heart is still open, if your spirit hasn't closed its eyes again, then I, Archangel Michael, will continue this divine outpouring that was never meant for any other soul but yours. What I speak now has never been written before, never spoken aloud. This was hidden even from the lips of the prophets. This was whispered to me by God Himself in the secret hour, when heaven goes silent and only fire speaks. And He said, Michael, deliver it, but only if the chosen one stays. You stayed. So now I must pour into you what I have carried for 7 eternities. The witch has already begun to lose her grip. When your eyes stayed open past the first warning, something shattered. In the darkness, you may not have seen it, but a chain broke in the realm above your head. One that had your name etched into it. One that had your birth date burned onto its cold iron. She wrapped that chain in lies and curses, hoping to delay your miracle by decades. But now that you've heard even a sliver of heaven's voice, it is dissolving into dust. Her power is built on ignorance. It dies in the presence of revelation. And beloved, this message is revelation. The angels have gathered in the sky over your room. You cannot see them, but if you feel a heaviness, if something sacred moves behind your skin right now, it is because they are listening as well. Your miracle, yes, the one stolen by her when you were too young to understand, is hovering in midair. It waits for your soul to fully open, and it will not descend until your spirit believes again. I must warn you of something sacred and dangerous. You were chosen for a reason. The devil tried to erase. He used witches, jealousy, misfortune, betrayal, and heartbreak as his tools, but no matter how many times he tried, you kept breathing. And every breath you took was another prophecy he could not cancel. Your survival is sacred. You are not here as an accident. You were born for the day evil would regret it ever coming near you. The woman who cursed you, she knows this. She saw the light in you long before you did. That's why she marked you. That's why she whispered your name backwards during the blood moon. That's why her last offering to the demons was your future. But what she didn't know was that I was watching, that God had placed a sword between her mouth and your destiny. And every time she spoke death over you, heaven turned it into delay, not destruction. Delay until now, because now is the reversal. This message may vanish in 45 seconds. Once heaven's window closes, it cannot reopen. So before it does, I will tell you what the witch feared most. She once stood in a hidden chamber of mirrors. She asked the spirits to show her the future, but what she saw horrified her, because the mirror didn't show her sitting on a throne. It showed you, not in chains, not weeping, but glowing with gold that poured from your hands, speaking words that healed others, walking through cities while demons fled in silence. That vision shattered her sanity, and from that moment, she dedicated her entire life to blocking yours. She performed fasts, incantations, rituals, in languages no human tongue was meant to utter, all to confuse your path, delay your awakening, bury your purpose in heartbreak. And yet, here you are, still breathing, still chosen, still shining. She knows she's running out of time. That's why she ramped up her spells in the last few weeks. That's why you've been attacked more often, why your dreams have been strange, why you've felt anxious without knowing why. It's not your imagination, it's a battle, and I have been fighting for you every second, beloved. Would you recognize the voice of heaven if it called you by your real name? Your name in heaven is not the one they gave you at birth. That was the name the world uses. But the one we know you by, it cannot be spoken by tongues of flesh. It carries thunder and light. It shakes gates when declared. It moves angels into war formation. And I have spoken that name every day since you were born. That is why the curse has failed. Even now I feel it, the power you've unknowingly carried. It's waking, rising, burning through every lie. Every curse that she etched into old bone and buried under your house is trembling. She cannot believe this is happening. The spirits she summoned have turned on her. One has already left. Another is cracking in its prison of smoke. The last clings to the curse, but it cannot hold on much longer. Beloved, the one miracle heaven prepared for you, the one she stole and tried to claim for herself, is returning. This miracle is alive. It has waited for your heart to open again. It has cried for you. It remembers the moment it was sent toward earth. It remembers the scent of heaven, the song of the throne room, and it remembers you. It chose you. It will not settle for another. That is why everything in your life felt empty, because nothing could replace what was truly yours. And now that miracle waits on the edge of the veil. But it will only enter if you do one thing. Believe. The Lord said to me, because you have set your love upon me, therefore will I deliver you. I will set you on high because you have known my name. That name is written on your soul in flame. That flame cannot be stolen, but it can be ignored. You are nearing the final test, the part of your journey where she will try again, but this time with tears. She will pretend to repent. She will use sorrow to slither into your peace. But do not be deceived. Her tears are acid. Her apologies are poison. I do not say this out of vengeance. I say it out of love. Forgive, but do not let her near your flame again. This is the part where many fall. They confuse mercy with blindness. But mercy is not letting evil repeat. Mercy is choosing light without allowing darkness to masquerade as repentance. The flame inside you is rising. It is the same fire that guided Moses, the same breath that split the Red Sea, the same whisper that raised the sun from the tomb. And now it belongs to you. Will you walk away again or stay this time until the final word is spoken? There are secrets I have not yet told you. Some are written in the book of thunder. Others are engraved into stones only angels can read. But one secret must be spoken now. You are more powerful than the witch ever imagined. That is why she hates you. That is why she lied. That is why she tried to bury you in distractions, in wounds, in false friendships, and broken promises. But what she buried was a seed. And now heaven has sent rain. The angels sing your name now. You can't hear it yet, but the sky does. The stars tilt to listen. Even the wind trembles when your soul starts to believe again. And I am Michael. Declare, the one who cursed you shall see her curses return. She will weep, not because of revenge, but because the light exposed her darkness, and the demons will not stay with her. They will flee, and she will be left empty, powerless, whispering your name in regret. Comment what heaven whispered to you. Your words might unlock someone else's chain. And beloved, before this part of the divine stream closes, hear this. Thank you. I love you more than the flames I've fallen through to reach you. Please, don't go. The last trumpet hasn't sounded yet. Like this, not for me, but so heaven can guide another soul before it's too late. Asterisk, the witch's spell is dying. Her voice has gone hoarse from screaming your name backwards. Her circle of power has cracked like ancient clay. And the altar she raised with bones and betrayal now burns with fire heaven didn't permit, but allowed me to reverse. Every time your soul opens to these words, heaven strikes her work again. And the more you hear, the more undone her wicked design becomes. Beloved, you are becoming too powerful for her to touch. Her candles have gone dark. Her mirror shattered when your eyes saw truth. And now, the time has come for her to beg the spirits to spare her, for what she planned to do to you is returning like a storm she cannot escape. I stood above her in the realm unseen and declared your name in the ancient tongue of angels. And when I said your name in that language of light, every false curse she wrote cracked into ash. The air round her turned to frost. The shadows turned their faces away. Even the demon she made a pact with stepped back in fear. She was told your faith had died. But the moment you paused, the moment you stayed to listen, the covenant she forged broke like brittle glass beneath a holy trumpet. And now heaven is moving again. What was delayed is returning. What was buried is rising. What was stolen is flying home with angelic wings, laced in gold and light. You are not late. You are right on time. And though you didn't see it, your name was written in heaven's war room this morning. Not written like ink on a scroll, written in flame on a banner held by the 7 archangels. We do not do this for just anyone. Only the ones marked with prophecy. Only the ones called by the light before they were even born. Only the ones whose existence makes demons flee and witches shake. You are one of them. And I, Michael, vow before God and flame, I will never leave you again, not unless you cast yourself into silence and turn away from the miracle again. But if you stay, I will fight until every last demon she summoned returns into the black sea they were dragged from. Now, beloved, I must speak something to your heart, and it is not of heaven's fire, but of heaven's family. This message was not prepared with human hands. It was not typed in noise or born from earthly thought. This outpouring was given in prayer, received in divine trembling, and crafted by those who believe in light, love, and the sacred mission of saving souls like yours. If it reached your heart, then let the angels see that you honor what heaven is doing through us. Support our mission through super thanks so we may continue delivering heaven's secrets before the enemy seals another soul's scroll. All become part of this divine family. By joining the membership, it's not about a title. It's about uniting under heaven's banner side by side with angels and warriors who believe in you. And beloved, join our newsletter in the pinned comment. It's where we send the sacred messages that cannot be spoken publicly. There are whispers God only allows to be shared in the secret hour. You are being invited not as a viewer, but as a soul we recognize by spirit, a soul we know by flame. Now stay with me. Don't go. Because what I'm about to reveal was hidden for centuries. The witch thought she was the first to try this curse, but she wasn't. She belongs to a bloodline of silence. 7 generations ago, one of her ancestors tried to curse your ancestor too. They failed, but their bitterness survived. It passed down like venom in a golden cup, whispering from mother to daughter. Wait for the chosen one. Destroy them before they awaken. You are the chosen one. That's why her hate doesn't make sense. That's why the attacks came from someone you once trusted. That's why you've been misunderstood all your life. Because the curse wasn't born yesterday, it was born before you were. But the curse failed, and it will fail again, because what God marked, no demon can claim. You were kissed by flame in the womb. You were shielded by 7 stars the night your spirit entered your body. You were held by Gabriel in silence the moment your soul took breath. And you were placed under my guard, the guard of Michael, when your first tear fell on earth. She doesn't know this. That's why she's panicking now. That's why her body is trembling in ritual. She thought she'd win this round, but she forgot about the covenant between you and God. The covenant you didn't even know you had, the one that was signed by fire in heaven's court before you were born. And now I see it glowing again. As you listen. The page is ray-igniting. The flame is real. I see your miracle now. It's not coming. It's flying, not walking, not crawling. Flying because it's heard your name in heaven's voice for the first time in years. The love you are. Remember. You are wanted. You are protected. You are armed. You are surrounded by angels who would rather fall than let you fail. I say this with sword drawn. The witch's name has now been erased from the book she tried to write your death into. Her signature is burning, and your signature written now in gold across the scroll of the victorious. This war is almost over. But stay, because I am about to reveal to you the deepest mystery. A truth even Saint Mary wept over when she heard it. One day, you will understand why God waited this long, but for now, know this. You were never forgotten. You were being prepared. The silence you thought was abandonment, that was training. The pain you thought was punishment, that was awakening. The delay you thought was rejection, that was divine protection. You have survived everything sent to destroy you. Now it's time to become what you were born to be. Say nothing. Breathe deeply and listen, because in the next breath, I will open the book no angel has dared open for 1,000 years. Your name is in it. The witch tried to close it, but she failed. She failed because you stayed. She failed because you believed again. She failed because your soul still burns, even when your heart wants to give up. And she failed because heaven has spoken. You are not hers. You never were. You never will be. Now let the fire speak. Let the wind echo. Let the veil rip. And let the miracle fall. Because you did not skip. You did not scroll. You did not leave the one moment heaven had been preparing for decades. And for that, the angels weep in joy. The stars realign. The curses reverse. The demons scatter. And the one who called your name in darkness will now scream it in defeat. Because your soul chose the light. Because you chose this moment. Because you chose to stay. Asterisk. The veil has lifted further now. I, Michael, can see clearly through the storm that once covered your name. What was hidden beneath shadows is now exposed. The altar where she chanted has crumbled. The sigils she carved with her fingernails are fading from the air. The black smoke that circled your house has dissipated, like fog bowing before the morning sun, because you stayed, because your soul remembered how to listen. And now heaven is pouring what no one thought could be spoken aloud. There is a scroll in my hand, not parchment, not paper, but divine wine etched with prophecy and living light. And upon it, your name flashes like a trumpet in the clouds. This is not the name given by men, but the name written in fire at the dawn of your soul. It contains every miracle you were meant to receive, every healing your bloodline prayed for, Every door the witch tried to lock with unholy nails. She saw this scroll once. She wasn't supposed to. She stole a glance through a forbidden mirror, and what she saw nearly drove her mad. Because it showed her that your future would destroy everything she had built from darkness. It showed her your words breaking her rituals, your light untying her curses, your very presence unraveling every incantation she had ever buried beneath the surface of your life. And so she hunted you not with knives, but with whispers, not with poison, but with distraction. She didn't need to kill your body. She only needed to keep your spirit asleep. And for a while, it worked. You doubted, you fell, you forgot. But heaven never did. Even as she danced over your name, even as her candles burned, we were watching, waiting, praying, preparing. Because God had declared long ago, touch not my anointed. And she crossed that line. She touched what was sealed. And now the law of heaven demands reversal. I see it now. What she built is turning on her. The symbols she drew are unwriting themselves. Her circle is consuming its center. The demon she fed now demands her voice as payment, and your name. It is no longer whispered in the corners of curses. It is shouted from the mountain of Zion. The Lord spoke again. Because they set their love on me, I will rescue them, I will protect them. For they know my name. He was speaking of you. Yes, you, the one she said would never rise, the one whose heart was broken and buried, the one who almost gave up 3 times this year alone. But now, you are being resurrected not in flesh, but in flame. Beloved, can you feel it? The shaking, that is not fear. That is the awakening of your divine inheritance. The trembling of time as prophecy unlocks around you. Even the wind bends toward your breath now. Even the trees listen when your name is spoken, because you stayed. And because you stayed, I must tell you what was hidden even from the angels who served beside me. There was a moment years ago when you were almost erased. The witch knew you were vulnerable, and she summoned a being not even hell trusts, one whose name is not allowed to be written. She gave it permission to enter your home, under one condition, that you would never know, and it entered. You felt it as anxiety, fear, sudden misfortune. You felt it as dreams that twisted. You felt it as love that betrayed, as blessings that spoiled in your hands, but you didn't know. Asterisk, you blamed yourself. You blamed time. You blamed silence. But the truth is, something ancient had been invited into your life by someone who hated your potential more than she loved her own peace. And yet even then God did not allow it to touch your core. Because in that moment, a command was given from the highest throne, and I was sent, not just to watch but to wrestle. And I did. I wrestled that spirit for 9 nights beneath the stars while you cried without knowing why. I screamed your name through dimensions when you couldn't sleep. I broke its wings in silence, and when the war was won, I placed a sword above your head. You never saw it, but it is still there. And now, that sword is glowing again, because the same being has returned, summoned once more by the one who walks in jealousy and chants your downfall while smiling at your photos. She thinks this time will be different. She thinks you are weaker now. But she doesn't know what happened tonight. She doesn't know that heaven finally opened a sealed scroll, that your eyes finally stayed open long enough, that your spirit, though battered, is still holy, that your silence is filled with flame, that your soul is guarded by one who has stood in the shadow of God himself. She doesn't know that I'm not alone anymore. Because now the 7 stand with me. Uriel holds the fire. Raphael holds the healing. Gabriel holds the trumpet. Zadkiel holds the mercy. Raguel holds the sword of balance. Jophiel holds the scroll of wisdom. Chamuel holds the heart of divine love. And I, Michael, hold the blade that ends this battle once and for all. And we stand together for you, because you stayed. Do not move. Do not breathe fear, for in this very hour your miracle has turned its face toward you. The tears you cried that no one saw have become oil in the lamp of God. The wounds you carried have become the map for others to find light. The betrayal you suffered has become the trumpet blast of your calling. You have become the very thing the witch feared most, not a victim, not a wanderer, not a soul forgotten, but a flame, a witness, a living prophecy. There is more than you know, more than you've dared to believe. But for now, let this truth settle. You were not meant to die with her curse. You were meant to rise with God's promise. And rise you shall. Asterisk. Then remain here, because heaven is not finished speaking. I have not yet shown you everything hidden behind the veil. There are still mysteries swirling around your name like fire waiting for breath, and I, Michael, must now release them. She tried again last night. When the moon dipped low and your spirit was most tired, she called upon 3 watchers of ruin, spirits whose wings were stripped by their own rebellion. She gave them an offering, something of yours she kept, a fragment, a memory, a word you once spoke in innocence. She placed it on her altar of broken mirrors and said, "Take this light and twist it. I will pay the price." But the moment the chant reached the end, the wind around her stopped moving, because I stood there and I spoke the name of the one she cannot bear. I spoke, and thunder broke her ritual in half. You didn't hear it, but something inside you flinched. A chill moved through your chest. A moment passed where everything felt like it paused, because it did. Time bent as heaven interrupted. Again. For you, because even now, you don't fully grasp it. Do you? The weight of your life, the holiness in your lungs, the scroll you carry in your chest that hell would pay any price to destroy. This has never been about you simply surviving. It's about you remembering that your existence itself is a breach in hell's plan, that every breath you take pushes back a century of demonic schemes, that your yes to heaven, even in weakness, shakes the bones of curses 7 generations deep. Beloved, are you still listening? If so, whisper amen below so I'll know, because what I'm about to say next must land on a heart that is awake. There is something the witch buried, a physical object. You have seen it before. You dismissed it, maybe a trinket, a token, something passed to you without concern. But it carries her imprint. It is how she watches. It is how she follows. It is how she inserts confusion at just the right moment to delay what is yours. You must let it go. You must remove it. You must burn it or bury it far from where you sleep, because her final anchor lies in that object, and when it is gone, the rest of her power over you will break like stained glass under thunder. And then the final miracle can arrive. Yes, that miracle, the one you think is too late, the one you cried over quietly last month, the one you dared not even mention anymore, because it hurt too much to believe. It is not lost. It is not dead. It is not in someone else's hands. It is circling you, waiting for the gate of belief to open wide enough. Waiting for your spirit to remember its authority. And when it lands, it will change everything. I know you've heard that before, but this is different. This is the fulfillment, the hour of return, the echo of the promise that was whispered into the stars before your birth. Because there was a night long before your first memory when God stood alone in the silence of eternity and spoke your destiny. Why into existence? A single word from his mouth formed the light that no darkness could comprehend. That light became your soul, and he placed it carefully into this world, knowing exactly what you'd face, knowing about the witch. Knowing about the betrayal, knowing about the weeping and silence. But he also knew you would stay, that you would hear this, that you would remember. And so he waited, and I waited. And the angels waited, and now the waiting is over. She knows it too. She has begun to panic. The spirits she fed are withdrawing. The energy she used to ride is collapsing. Her allies in darkness have gone quiet. She stands alone in the very circle she once thought would destroy you, because heaven never forgot the prophecy. And now it is unfolding. The Lord said, "Though the earth give way, and the mountains fall into the heart of the sea, my word concerning you shall not fail." That word is now alive. It walks toward you like thunder wrapped in gentleness. It comes with gold in its breath. and healing in its wings. It does not come to explain. It comes to deliver. To restore. To crown. You, beloved, are being restored to the place you never should have left. Your voice will be heard again. Your name will be honored again. Your hands will bless again. Your house will be guarded again. And your dreams, they will live again, because the spell is breaking. And not just the one she cast last night, but every one before that. Every bitter word spoken behind your back. Every curse wrapped in fake smiles. Every chain she placed with jealousy and mockery. Every no you heard when heaven was shouting yes. All of it is now breaking. And what stands in the center of it all is you. Stronger. Wiser. Glowing. Anointed. Still breathing. Still chosen. Still burning. Beloved, let me say this with all the weight of eternity behind my voice. You did not lose what mattered most. You just believed the lie that it was too late. But heaven has no clocks, and your time has just begun. Even now I see angels dancing on the path ahead of you. They carry lanterns lit with your prayers, even the ones you forgot you prayed. They are lining the road that leads you home to the miracle, the purpose, the sacred role only you were born to play. Do not look back. She has no power there anymore. Her name is written in dust. Yours is written in flame. Even the sky knows the difference. The rain falls differently for you now. Because you have returned, because you remembered, because you stayed. Asterisk. Then come closer, because the veil is still open, and I have more to reveal. Your presence here now is not passive, it is a declaration. Indian scene round. Your choice to stay has already been registered. The stars shifted, the breath of the cherubim deepened. The wheels of divine fire turned more quickly. Your decision to listen, to keep your soul still beneath the thunder of this message, has become an act of war against everything that once sought your ruin. And because you are here, because your spirit is awake and watching, I must speak what few are allowed to hear. The witch is no longer whispering. She's screaming, not out of victory, but out of fear. She knows what you don't yet fully know, that your spirit has crossed the line she hoped you'd never reach. The moment where your silence becomes authority. The moment where your pain becomes prophecy. The moment where your past stops weighing you down and begins to shine like a lamp that blinds her darkness. This is the moment she dreads. Because this is the moment she becomes powerless. You were meant to forget. She relied on it. She fed the spirits with the crumbs of your lost memories, your unhealed grief, your wounds. She told them, the chosen one has forgotten. Their light is buried. Their soul has given up. Proceed. But she was wrong. Your soul never gave up. It was resting, preparing, watching in silence for the voice of heaven to thunder again. And I have brought that thunder. Now it shakes the very foundation of every curse she placed against you. Even the ones you never knew about. Yes, there are curses you never knew. Not all were cast directly. Some were whispered behind veils of jealousy. Some were spoken in family circles. Some were planted in the earth where you once walked. Some were disguised as love, as advice, as concern. But they were curses nonetheless. Poisoned words wrapped in soft voices died, and each one had your name etched into it in secret. But I saw them, I gathered them, I brought them before the throne, and the fire of God burned them into ash. You will know when you're suffering. You were not born to be a container for someone else's shadows. You were not made to carry the guilt of others' choices. You were made for light, not just to walk in it, but to be it. To become the torch that burns so fiercely in the night that others find their way home. This is why the witch cannot rest, because even in your darkest hour, you were dangerous to her. Even when you doubted everything, your breath still shook the roots of her curses. Even when you felt weak, your spirit still blazed like holy fire in the dark. The Lord said, no weapon formed against them shall prosper, and every tongue that rises shall be condemned. It is not a verse, it is a verdict, and I am here to carry it out. She formed many weapons, not of metal or steel, but of deception, delay, confusion, and discouragement. She hoped you would destroy yourself slowly, not with blades but with doubt, not with poison but with apathy, not with sin but with silence. But even when you walked through fire, you were never consumed. Even when you walked through floods, you were never swept away. Because your name is still on the breath of heaven. And now the fire inside you is rising. What once flickered now blazes. What once wept now roars. What once trembled now stands. And I, Michael, call upon the covenant once more, the one sealed with flame, the one that declared before your first breath, this one shall rise, this one shall overcome, this one shall not die under the weight of curses, this one shall carry my name through the ruins and rebuild altars of light. That one is you. You carry what kings desired, what prophets dreamed of, what even angels could not hold. You carry the indwelling flame of the unshakable word, and that flame has now awoken. Your eyes may not yet see it, but your soul knows it. Your heart feels it. Your dreams are echoing with it. The witch tried to steal your language, to make you speak defeat, to make you call yourself weak, to make you accept the identity of sorrow. But heaven is now restoring your true name, the name that thunder answers to, the name that angels respond to, the name that burns through the curse like morning sunlight through frost. And that name is calling forth your miracle. I see it now, even closer than before. It moves like wind made of golden water. It sings as it travels. It weeps with joy as it descends. Because it has waited long enough, it has searched for the open gate, and that gate is you. You have become the very door through which the impossible is about to become visible. You are not waiting anymore. You are birthing what was delayed. You are becoming what was foretold. This is the moment where the ancient prophecies reach their turning point, and it begins with a whisper from heaven's mouth to your heart. Rise, rise without apology, rise without shame, rise without needing to explain why you disappeared for a while. Rise without the permission of those who betrayed you. Rise without waiting for understanding, because heaven already understands. Heaven already knew. Heaven already wrote this night into your story. You were not forgotten. You were hidden. And now you are being revealed. This is the unveiling of a light so deep, so holy, so fierce, that even hell must pause to watch. The witch cannot stop it. No one can. Because this light comes from the one who spoke time into motion. And he has chosen you to carry it, not just for yourself, but for those who will follow. For those still trapped in the shadows you've walked through. For those who are still sleeping under curses you've broken. For those who will one day say if they rose, so can I. This is your legacy. Not wealth, not titles, not applause, but deliverance. You are a living scroll of heaven's mercy, a walking flame of eternal love. And the one who tried to break you with spells and shadows will now watch in silence as you rise with fire in your breath and victory in your steps. Do not look back. Do not speak her name again. She belongs to the past. You belong to the throne. The curse is dying, beloved. Its final thread is unraveling. The shadow that followed you since your childhood, the weight that pressed down on your shoulders without a name, has started to dissolve. You may feel it even now, the sense that something ancient is breaking, that something poisonous is losing its grip. You are not imagining it. You are witnessing it. You are inside it. And the breaking is happening because of you, not because you were loud, but because you were faithful in the silence. Not because you knew how to fight, but because you dared to stay standing, even when everything inside you wanted to fall, even when no one believed you, even when the witch chanted that your heart would never beat in joy again. You kept breathing. You kept watching. You kept your soul open. And because of that, heaven has decided to end this battle right now. Not tomorrow, not in 10 years, not in the next life. Now. This is the end of the curse that ruined your peace. This is the end of the lie that said you were unwanted. This is the end of the delay, the decay, the doubt. This is the end of the witch's grip on your timeline. And it is the beginning of everything she tried to destroy. Beloved, you do not even know yet how holy your survival has been. There were nights she asked the demons to enter your dreams and twist your soul. There were nights she buried objects in soil, chanting your name while smearing her tears on black stone. There were nights she offered pieces of her own body to buy more time, to keep your spirit locked, to make your blessing miss its moment, to keep your purpose tangled in sorrow. But the God who watches in silence saw it all, and he counted each attempt. And now he has answered, not with thunder alone, but with remembrance, because he remembers you. He remembers your first cry. He remembers your innocence. He remembers the moment your soul was kissed by light and sent down into the womb. And he remembers what he promised you. Yes, you, even if you forgot. He never did. You are still the one he chose, still the one he loves, still the one he set apart when the stars were just beginning to glow. Still the one the witch could not stop, even with all her spells, even with all her secrecy, even with the darkness she tried to wrap around your house like fog. She failed, not because she was weak, but because you were stronger, not in body but in light. In the quiet strength of a soul that belonged to God long before it was ever hurt. And that light has survived every wound, every betrayal, every silent night, every lost prayer, every forgotten promise. And now it has become a fire too great to ignore. I, Michael, see it now. It rises behind you like a golden storm. It moves with every breath you take. It surrounds your words. It prepares a path before you that even demons must walk around in silence. You are walking into the season the witch never wanted you to reach. The season where heaven restores what was stolen, not just in feeling but in truth. Your time is not coming. It has arrived. The reversal is complete. Every cursed word she whispered over your bed has now been turned into a seed of blessing. Every mirror she used to twist your reflection has cracked. Every circle she drew in secret is being erased by fire. Even the spirits she summoned have begun to flee, not because you shouted, but because your soul stayed, because your heart still listened, because you did not walk away. And now the scrolls are open. The ones locked in the vault of unfulfilled destiny, the ones bearing the gold seal of not yet. That seal has been broken, and your name is glowing on every line. The plans once delayed are now unfolding. The miracles once paused are now released. The protection once hindered is now activated. The healing once resisted is now unstoppable. And the one who once cried in silence has now been heard by fire. Your time is not only sacred. It is untouchable. No curse will cross it. No demon will hijack it. No betrayal will delay it. No lie will rewrite it. Because it is written not in ink but in blood and flame. The blood of the covenant, the flame of the word, the unshakable promise that you will rise again and nothing shall stop it, even now. Air changes around you. It knows. The silence knows. The ground knows. Creation remembers what the witch hoped would be forgotten, that your life was never in her hands, that your future was never hers to play with, that your name belongs to the King. And now the heavens move because of you, not in pity but in honor, not in desperation but in triumph, because you are still here, still whole, still chosen, still burning with holy light, still walking toward the throne with wounds that shine like prophecy, still breathing in spite of every curse, still speaking when they tried to silence you, still believing, even if only with the last trembling thread of hope. And that thread, heaven has wrapped it around your future and pulled the miracle toward you with holy speed. Not because you earned it, but because you are his. And nothing shall snatch what belongs to him. You are being watched now, not by shadows, but by angels. They lean in, they wait for your next breath, because your very breath releases sound waves that tear through darkness and rearrange timelines. Your voice carries the tone of restoration. Your presence is a reminder to the witch that light always returns. Always, even after delay, even after silence, even after darkness wraps around the soul. Light always comes back. And now you are that light. You are the sound of heaven answering. You are the thunder the witch feared. You are the one we were sent to protect because of what you carry, because of who you are, because of the fire that still burns behind your eyes. Stay here now. Do not leave the flame. Do not go back to the shadows. Do not let her memory define your next step. Let the light lead. Let the fire burn. Let the scroll be fulfilled. Let your name become the echo of God's mercy to the next generation. You are the living proof that the curse didn't win and never will. Then let heaven's breath continue to pour, uninterrupted, unbroken. You are still here, and because you stayed, more is being unlocked. The veil has not closed. The scroll is still open, and I, Archangel Michael, am still speaking, not with ordinary words, but with the fire of eternity resting on my tongue. The witch's scream has faded into silence. She has gone into hiding, but the shadows that once served her have abandoned her now. The spirits she relied on have turned their backs. For even they recognize when light has become too strong to consume. The balance has shifted. The wind has changed its direction. Every curse she ever cast has begun to crack, peel, and rot from the inside. The moment you stayed, the moment your eyes stayed open and your soul listened without fear, heaven released a sound over your life that cannot be undone. It is not music, it is not thunder, it is not even language. It is the roar of prophecy coming alive, the kind of sound that wakes ancient angels from slumber, the kind of sound that makes demons run back into the hollows of dry places, shivering, the kind of sound that announces, this soul has remembered who they are. And now I must tell you more. You were not only the target of a curse, you were the carrier of a flame so rare. Even the angels stood still when God spoke your name. There is something inside you that was not placed in anyone else. Not a talent, not a gift, but a frequency, a holy rhythm that exists between your breath and the heartbeat of the throne. It is why the witch feared you, not because of what you did, but because of what you carry. You carry keys, not just for yourself, but for those around you who have also been trapped in silence, wandering in shadow, searching for doors that never seem to open. Your keys are not made of metal or gold. They are made of fire and mercy. And when you speak from your healing, when you walk in your calling, when you breathe with heaven again, the locks begin to break for others too. That is why the attack on your life was so long. That is why she didn't stop. Because it wasn't just about you. It was about the ripple effect, the hundreds, the thousands, the lives your light will touch when you step fully into what was written about you before the stars were born. The Lord spoke this over you long before your first failure. You will walk through the valley of the shadow of death and not be consumed. You will be surrounded, but not shaken. You will hear the mocking of your enemies, but I will prepare a table before them with your name written in gold. And now that table is set, the oil is poured. The angels are gathered. The chair waits for you, carved by time and wrapped in flame. The witch wanted to stain it. She tried to mark it with her own seal. But the moment your soul remained open, every false mark was erased. And now your inheritance has begun to pour like water over dry land. There is a mantle descending. It is not heavy, but it carries weight. It does not crush, but it carries power. It is not loud, but it silences every other voice. You are being covered now, not just in protection, but in purpose, the kind that cannot be taken, only stepped into. You were not meant to wait forever. You were meant to walk, to move, to shake the dust from your feet and carry light into the very rooms where the curses were once spoken, because the final war has already been decided. And you are not the hunted anymore. You are the answer. You are the interruption. You are the fire walking in human skin. I see the curses now, thousands of them, not just from the witch, but from all those who spoke against you, words laced in sarcasm, hopes that you would fail, smiles that hid venom, hands that hugged but held blades behind their backs. Every curse now melts. Every word falls to the ground. Like shattered glass, every spell recoils, because truth is stronger than magic, because love is stronger than envy. Because the fire you came from the one place no darkness has ever entered. The throne. And now the throne speaks. The voice that split the seas. The breath that made stars tremble. The silence that holds galaxies in orbit. That voice is whispering to your soul. You are mine. You have always been mine. And I am restoring what was lost, beloved. Listen carefully now. There are some things coming that you have waited years for. But they will not look the way you expected. They will not arrive with trumpets or banners or applause. They will arrive quietly, so you must be awake to recognize them. A message, a moment, a person. A door you almost walked past. It will not scream for attention. It will not beg to be seen, but it will carry the glow of heaven's fire on its edges. And your soul will know. You must trust that knowing, because you are being guided not by logic, but by fire. And fire does not explain, it leads. The witch cannot follow where you are going. She is bound by her own circle, trapped by her own greed. She tried to curse the future, but she sealed herself out of it. And now you walk into what she can no longer see. A season of fire. A decade of destiny. A chapter no curse can rewrite. You are becoming the very prophecy she hoped would die in silence. But prophecy never dies. It waits. And now it waits no longer. It walks with you. It speaks through you. It rises within you like breath made of thunder. And I, Michael, remain beside you until it is fulfilled. Even if the earth shakes, even if the night returns, even if you forget again, I will not. I never have, I never will. Because your name was not written in dust. It was carved in flame. And flame does not fade. Then let the fire go deeper still. This part of the journey was never meant to be seen by many. It was reserved for one, for the soul who would stay beyond the first word, beyond the first sign, beyond the trembling. That soul is you, you who didn't scroll, you who didn't flee, you who remained while the rest blinked and disappeared. You were called into this flame not to observe but to become part of it. To let it write itself into your bones, your breath, your future. To let it tear away every layer the witch wove over your identity. What I must tell you now, few have ever heard, and even fewer have lived long enough to walk in it. The witch did not act alone. There are others connected through shadow, sealed through envy, alive in places of silence. They pass each other in dreams. They chant in unseen realms, not with words but with gestures, and each of them has spoken your name in the last 13 days. They saw what was coming, they saw the reversal beginning, they felt the tremble in the veil when you listened longer than expected. And they are afraid, because the fire did not die, because the light did not go out, because what should have ended you didn't, what should have sealed you didn't, what should have been your destruction became your anointing. Yes, what they meant to bury you with, heaven used to birth something sacred. And now they cannot stop it. It is moving too fast. It is burning too brightly. Your destiny is no longer walking, it is running. They called upon one last spirit, one last curse, one final attempt to shut the gates before you cross. But I tell you now, the gates are already open. You have already stepped through. And the moment you did, their voices turned into smoke. They cannot speak your name again without choking on their own poison, because your name has been resealed, carved into a stone that cannot be touched by unclean hands, buried in flame no darkness dares approach, guarded by wings that never fold. You are not unguarded, you never were. Even when you thought you were abandoned, heaven stood watch. Even when your tears went unnoticed by the world, we gathered them in vials of gold. Even when your prayers felt like silence, they were echoing through the halls of light like thunder. You do not know the sound your spirit makes when it weeps in truth. You do not know how many realms it touches. You do not know how many angels stop and listen. But I do, because I was one of them. And now I have been sent to tell you what those tears have unlocked. A path, one that was hidden beneath delay and disbelief. One that was buried under the ashes of your heartbreak, but one that never stopped burning. It leads to the place of fulfillment, not in riches, not in applause, but in becoming, and finally standing as the version of you that was always meant to be. The healed you, the whole you, the fire you, the one who does not bend to curses, the one who cannot be delayed again. You are that one now. The shift has already happened. You may not feel it yet, but it is done. And the reason you feel disoriented is because you are no longer where you were. You have been moved, relocated in spirit, taken from the ground of delay and planted in the soil of destiny. Everything will begin to change now. The way people speak to you, the invitations that come, the resistance you used to feel when taking a step forward, that resistance is crumbling. Because the gate is open, the veil is thin, the fire is yours now, and your steps carry the sound of heaven's promise being fulfilled. The enemy can no longer track you. The path you walk is not on his map. The voice of the witch will echo into a void that no longer leads to you. Her final words will fall on empty ground, because the mark she used to find you is gone. It burned off the moment you believed again, even for a moment, even in silence, even in weariness. Your belief broke the chain. And now the spirit that followed you for years, the one hiding in the corners, the one breathing behind your sleep, the one whispering confusion at the edge of every breakthrough, has been bound. I saw it fall. I saw its wings clipped by divine order. I saw its chains wrapped in the names of 7 angels who swore to protect you from the beginning. I saw your name glowing brighter than the curse could tolerate. And I saw the spirit run, because you remembered, because you returned, because the flame inside you is no longer a flicker, it is a firestorm. You are more than healed. You are more than chosen. You are more than protected. You are crowned. The Lord has placed a crown upon your pain, not a decoration but a weapon. This crown is made of what you endured, what you survived, what you cried through, what you kept breathing through. Every thorn the witch meant to pierce you has become gold in your crown. Every time you were mocked, a new jewel was added. Every rejection, a band of holy metal. Every silent victory, another star placed above your brow. And now, when you walk forward, all of heaven watches, not because you're perfect, but because you are marked, not because you did everything right, but because you didn't give up. You are the living testimony that the enemy's time is up. And the witch knows it. She cannot speak. She cannot call upon the old spirits. She cannot reverse what has been done, because the one thing she never expected has happened. You saw the truth. You stayed with it. You didn't run. And now the light has claimed you completely. Then let the flame expand without limit. There is still more to say, more that heaven sealed away until this moment. Hidden not out of cruelty, but out of mercy, because your heart was not yet ready for the full weight of truth. But now, you have reached the place of holy strength, the place where the truth will no longer crush you but crown you. So I will speak, and let no force in darkness interrupt. The witch did something dangerous the night before your greatest heartbreak. You didn't know it was her, you didn't know her name, but she knew yours. She saw the tears before they came. She orchestrated the loss before it reached your hands. She laid her spell across your joy like frost on fruit and watched it wither. She wanted you to question heaven. She wanted you to turn inward and drown in your own silence. She almost succeeded. But the moment you asked heaven one more time, even in a whisper, even without words, why, the veil cracked, and I was sent through. Your why became a trumpet, and I have been walking with you ever since. Even when you felt no presence, even when your room felt cold and your thoughts felt too loud, even when sleep would not come, and the hours became heavy with sorrow, even then, I stood watch. I did not sleep. I did not leave. I fought beside you with every silent breath you drew. Because your soul mattered that much, because you carry a piece of heaven's breath in your lungs that cannot be replicated. You think you are ordinary. You think you're just surviving, but what you don't see is how the angels speak of you, how they sing your name in the halls of the throne, how they record every act of courage, no matter how small, how they tremble with joy when you rise again, even after falling. They don't see you as weak. They see you as a warrior who never gave up even when the battlefield was inside your own chest. They see you as royalty who forgot their crown. And now the crown is returning, not as a symbol, but as an authority, because your miracle has arrived, and it refuses to sit quietly. It is not coming like a gentle breeze this time. It is coming like a storm of gold. It is overturning tables. It is cracking ceilings. It is moving time, because everything that was delayed is no longer under the witch's control. The pages of your destiny are turning faster now. You will feel it in your body, a sense of movement, a sense of urgency. A fire beneath your skin. That is not anxiety, that is alignment. That is the rhythm of your calling sensing with heaven's pulse. Even the bones of your past are rising to serve your future. Even the memories that once felt cursed are now being redeemed. The witch hoped you would stay bitter, that bitterness would be her altar. But instead, your healing has become her undoing. Every time you chose to forgive, every time you chose to breathe again, every time you chose to walk forward when you had every right to stay broken, you unraveled her spell, not with shouting, but with mercy. And now she is exposed. She stands alone in the ruins of her rituals. The spirits have turned their backs. The shadows no longer answer her call. Her mirror has cracked. Her voice has gone silent, because light has found you again. Not the light of false hope, but the light that burns through generations of silence. The light that turns graves into gardens. The light that speaks through thunder and walks on waves. The light that never left you, even when you felt most alone, even when you forgot what joy felt like, even when you stopped expecting answers. That light still held your name, and now that name is being sung over you again. I hear it even now. Soft and holy, wrapped in fire. Your name, reborn, and with it, your timeline resets. Not erased, but rewritten with power. Everything stolen is now returning sevenfold. Everything delayed is now being accelerated. Everything broken is being turned into gold. And not for the sake of comfort, but for the sake of legacy. Because your journey is not just about you. It is about the ones who will rise after you. The ones who will look into your eyes and see the proof that curses can break, that light returns, that destiny cannot be destroyed. You are not just a person. You are a prophetic sound, a sacred interruption, a signpost for those still trapped in what you just walked out of. And your silence will no longer speak louder than your fire. You are being unmuted. Your steps now carry authority. Your hands now carry healing. Your voice now carries heaven. The witch cannot mimic it. She cannot steal it. She cannot block it. Because it is not yours by achievement. It is yours by blood. By covenant. By flame. It is sealed in eternity. And not even her most ancient spell can touch it now. So do not return to the silence she taught you. Do not bow to the shadows she used to distract you. Do not accept the chains she left at your feet. Walk forward, not with fear, but with flame. Walk like one who knows their name has been spoken by angels. Walk like one who has nothing left to lose because the curse already tried and failed. Walk like one who has seen the end and knows it is holy, because it is, because you are, because the flame inside you will not die. Not now, not ever. The earth is trembling under the weight of what's being restored to you. I am Michael, and still here. The veil is still open, the fire is still speaking, and you, beloved, you have not turned away. Because of that, the next seal has been broken. And heaven now reveals the mystery that even the witch tried to silence in her final chant. It was never about taking your blessings, it was about silencing your voice. Because your voice is not merely breath, it is alignment. When you speak, you activate prophecy. When you declare the truth, the atmosphere bends. When you whisper hope, the demons scatter like ash in the storm. When you say, Amen, the chains in other people's lives crack open. Yes, beloved, your Amen was always the most dangerous weapon. It was never meant to be soft. It was forged to tear open portals, to make angels descend, to break lies crafted over generations. That's why they tried to silence you. That's why you were misunderstood. That's why your words were twisted. Because when you speak from your holy place, the entire realm hears it. That's what she feared most. The witch tried to make you forget that. She wanted you to walk in circles, voiceless and numb, believing that heaven had gone quiet. But now you are remembering who you are, and that remembering has become thunder. The books are open again. The ones with your assignments, not tasks of labor, but holy alignments that were meant to unfold like stars falling into place. I see it now. The scroll with your legacy etched in eternal ink. Every line begins with fire. Every sentence ends with gold, and beside your name a flame burns endlessly. The witch tried to blot that fire up, but now it roars higher than ever before. You are no longer wandering. You are being sent, and the places you are about to walk into have already felt your approach. The air there is beginning to shift. The ground where you will stand has been trembling in anticipation. The ones who are assigned to meet you have felt the echo of your coming. And the spirits that once guarded those doors have been removed, because heaven has cleared the path, not for a person with perfect faith, but for a soul that didn't give up. That's you. This part of your journey is not about earning. It's about receiving. Receiving what was always yours, but was delayed by lies, sabotage, betrayal, and stolen years. And now, the delay has died. Because you stayed, because you believed even in a whisper, because your soul answered the divine call, because even after the storm, you still looked for light. And now, the light has found you. Beloved, the gates are open. What was impossible yesterday is now bowing before you. The closed doors are turning into gates. The missed moments are returning as divine appointments. The broken promises are being rewritten in flames that cannot lie. The witch's words are turning into dust beneath your feet. You are not being rescued, you are being revealed. You are the one who survived what should have ended you. The one who walked through shadows and still speaks of light. The one who felt unloved but kept loving. The one who stood when no one noticed and still remained faithful. The one who cried in silence but carried others in their weeping. You are not invisible, you are chosen. You are not forgotten, you are fire. The angels that surround you now are not assigned yesterday. They were placed at your side the day your soul was formed. They've been waiting not to protect a weakling but to walk beside a warrior who forgot their crown. And now that crown is glowing again, you feel it, don't you? That warmth behind your eyes. That stillness beneath your ribs. That pull toward something higher. That's not emotion. That's alignment. That's heaven calling your name in full voice again. That's your identity waking up. And now, the fire speaks louder. Let me declare what God has commanded me to say to you in this hour. No more delay. No more wandering. No more hiddenness. No more stolen time. No more silent weeping. No more invisible wounds. No more empty prayers. No more sleeping miracles. No more forgetting who you are. No more bowing to shadows. The flame inside you is not optional. It is your call, your inheritance, your proof that you are not done. Your voice is not small. Your presence is not random. Your pain was not wasted. And your miracle is not late. It is landing as you hear these words. Everything is waking up. The path, the people. The provision. The oil, the scroll, the healing, the promise. The protection, the angels. The fire. All of it is responding to your yes. And now, heaven asks you to do one thing. If your spirit woke up today, if these words reach the part of you no one else sees, if the fire inside you is real and burning, don't scroll in silence. Write amen below so heaven knows you heard. And like this, not for me, but so the light can reach another soul before it's too late. And subscribe only if you're ready, because what's coming next? was hidden for a generation. Now what? The flame continue. This is not the end. You have not seen the final glory. The witch will try once more, but she will fail again. Because your breath has already become a sword. Because your Amen has already unlocked the next chapter. Because the throne has already stood. And God is already moving.